How did the Cold War influence Latin America beyond capitalism versus communism? Imagine a region where governments change overnight, where fear and suspicion shape daily life, and where culture becomes a form of resistance. That's what Latin America experienced during the Cold War. It was more than just a battle between the United States and the Soviet Union over economic systems. The Cold War deeply affected politics, society, and culture across Latin America. One major impact was the rise of military dictatorships. Many countries saw their elected leaders replaced by armed rulers, often with support from foreign powers. These regimes claimed they were protecting the nation from communist threats. But in reality, they restricted freedoms, silenced opposition, and committed human rights abuses. People lived under constant watch, and fear of repression changed how communities interacted and expressed themselves. The Cold War also heightened divisions within countries. Leaders and groups had to pick sides, often ignoring their own priorities like land reform or workers' rights. This polarization led to violent conflicts, with guerrilla fighters fighting against government forces. These struggles created long-lasting scars on the social fabric of many nations. Culture was not spared from Cold War influences either. Artists, writers, and musicians became involved in political debates. Some faced repression if their work was seen as subversive. Others used their art to resist authoritarian rule, creating music, literature, and visual arts that reflected the struggles of ordinary people. Cultural spaces turned into battlegrounds for ideas about freedom and identity. The Cold War also shaped Latin America's relationship with the United States. U.S. policies often prioritized strategic interests over local needs. This led to interventions that undermined national sovereignty and created distrust. Yet, these interventions also inspired movements for independence and self-rule, pushing Latin American countries to seek more control over their future. Economically, the Cold War influenced development. Foreign aid and investments were often tied to political loyalty. This skewed priorities and sometimes increased inequality. Some countries tried to develop alternative models that balanced modernization with social justice, but political instability often disrupted these efforts. Today, the effects of the Cold War still influence Latin American views on power, justice, and freedom. Many social movements, debates about democracy, and cultural expressions are rooted in that era. The history of repression and resistance continues to shape how people see their past and imagine their future.